Hello you guys, welcome to day 4 of Vlogmas. I'm sipping on my favorite little afternoon treat, the strawberry vanilla Olipop. Oh, so good. This is just gonna be a really chill, chit-chatty, Christmassy home vlog today. But I asked you guys on Instagram if you guys had any questions for me today. Like, what do you wanna talk about? What do you wanna chat about? So I'm gonna answer some of those questions. I need to do a few things around the house, but I'm excited, so we're just gonna hang out. Okay, I'm gonna start with the most asked question, which is, when is our next Disney trip? Future Disney trips, trip details, just that was the most asked question. So I'm gonna share a little bit about this trip. We are going to Disney in January. That is our next trip. And this is gonna be a very resort heavy trip. So we are gonna be at, it's just me and Ellie. We're gonna be at 3 different Disney resorts this time. Typically I try to keep split stays like 2 resorts, but this one is gonna be a little bit different. So our first 3 nights of the trip is gonna be a very exciting hosted sponsored stay that I will definitely share more about in another video, but I'm really excited about that portion of the trip specifically. And then the last 2 nights of our trip, we'll switch and do 1 night and 1 night at 2 different resorts. So what I'm really excited about though is a while back, I put up a poll over on Instagram and asked you guys what resorts you would want to see me stay at next. Out of all of those responses, I booked the top 2 resorts that had the most votes. So I'm really excited about it because those are the 2 resorts that you guys wanted to see me stay at next. So I'm really excited about it. I've never done anything like that where I've based where we're staying off of like what you guys want me to do, which is really fun. Like it just kind of shows like these are the resorts that you guys want to see content at, or that you guys have questions about, or you want to see with little kids or whatever. So I'm excited. So it's going to be a 5-night trip, and again, just me and Ellie Rose, and I love going in January because the crowds are really low. It'll be well past after New Year's, so the New Year's crowds are, you know, gone at this point, and it will be pretty cold most likely. Well, you never know, I say that. Most of the time, January, like early February, it gets pretty cold. Like I'm talking 40s, 50s, and it's so funny because here, 50 degrees in Tennessee is like, oh, that's like a light sweater, but 50 degrees in Orlando is like, bring your parka, get your winter gear. It is freezing. I will probably be taking a checked bag this time. You guys know that I love going the carry-on route, but I think just knowing in advance that we are gonna need so many layers and we're gonna be there for 5 full days, I'm just gonna want a little bit more. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the checked bag. We're flying Southwest, so, you know, might as well. But that is a little bit about our January trip. I will definitely be sharing more as we get a little bit closer. I'm actually in the middle of kind of filming a like plan the trip with me kind of vlog. So that'll be something really fun. So that'll go up like right before the trip. But I'm kind of taking you through the whole planning process and going in a little bit deeper about all the details of our trip leading up to it this time. So that'll be really fun. So be on the lookout for that come kind of early January. But that's all I'm gonna share about the January trip right now. I do need to go get some clothes out of the dryer and do some laundry. So I'm gonna get the clothes like switched over and then answer a few more questions. All right, before I get started on the folding, I'm gonna answer a few more questions. Y'all did ask a couple of pretty deep questions here. So let me answer a few of like the short, quick questions, and then I'll dive into the deeper questions. So this first one, is the park hopper worth it with littles? It totally depends, in my opinion. If you have like 2 or 3 park days and you're really wanting to maximize your time, I would say definitely get the park hopper, especially with the park hopping rules changing come January, where you can hop before 2 p.m. I really think it might be worth it. Now, if you're there for a full week, I don't think you need the hopper. If you have 7 days and you're able to do a repeat Magic Kingdom day, I say just skip the park hopper. Where do you shop for your clothes? I love all of your solid staple pieces. Super cute. Thank you. My favorite online store is Carly Jean Los Angeles. I pretty much get Well, I would say about 75% of my closet is from Carly Jean, mostly because their pieces are so timeless, where you can buy a gray sweater and it's something that I'll have in my closet for years and years. It's never gonna go out of style. Same thing with their jeans. I really love their denim. And this shirt, for instance, like this is from Carly Jean. It's just like a lightweight cotton basic long sleeve. It's like kind of longer, like tunic style, so I can wear it with leggings. And again, this is something I can have for a really long time, and it's not outrageously priced. They run discounts and deals all the time. So Carly Jean is usually my go-to. They also are really great for like holiday specialty dresses, like anything that I wear for like fall family photos or a Christmas party. They have really great outfits for those kind of events as well. But again, they're timeless pieces that I can wear year after year. The other place I shop is Abercrombie. I feel like Abercrombie has made a comeback and their clothes are so good. I just purchased a pair of denim from them. I have denim shorts, but I wanted to go like full on jeans, and I love them. Like, I was shocked, and I was pretty nervous buying them online. You know, jeans are so hit or miss online. I kind of anticipated to return them, to be honest, but I got the curve love style, where it has a little extra room in the legs and the booty, but then it's still fitted around the waist, which that's always the problem, you know? It's like, they are like super snug around your legs and your butt, and then in the waist, they're like, you pull them out to here and you're like, ugh. So I love the curve love style with Abercrombie, and I have a jacket from there I just got that I love. Like, I really love Abercrombie. So Carly Jean and Abercrombie. How do you explain quiet time to Ellie? My daughter is just not getting it. So Ellie is very much a rule follower. So that's the one thing about her where I can tell her the rules of quiet time, and I can say, you know, here are the parameters, here's the boundary. You can stay in your room, you get a book or a toy. She's allowed to pick out one thing from her playroom and bring it to quiet time with her, so she has that freedom of being able to pick out whatever she wants, you know, as long as it's not like loud with music or, you know, anything like that. But other than that, she can bring a book, a princess, a whatever, blocks, like anything to her room, but she has to stay in her room. The transition from nap time to quiet time was so gradual that there wasn't really like a big struggle with it, because she understood the concept of like, this is nap time and mommy will come get me up when it's time to get up. So the same rule applied for quiet time, that I will come get her when quiet time is over. And if she starts being too loud or too rowdy, then she gets a warning and, you know, the whole thing. And I'll go in there and re-explain to her, you know, this is quiet time, no more screaming, do not jump on your bed, like, you need to be still. So those are that really is the only struggle we have with quiet time, is her getting like really rowdy in her room, but she's really good about staying in her room. But I would say the transition from nap to quiet time was pretty seamless with her. Again, she's such a rule follower that I have even tried telling her, you can get out of bed. You don't have to stay in your bed. You can go sit in your chair. You can play on the floor. But she is so conditioned to being in her bed for nap time that she refuses. So that's how much of a rule follower she is. And I'm like, please, you can get out of your bed. Like, go play on the floor. And she's like, no, I have to stay in my bed. So I don't know how to like break that. But that's kind of how we do quiet time. It's so unique to Ellie. So any kind of quiet time is going to be so specific to your child and what it needs to look like for, you know, each little one individually. Okay, and here's one of the deeper questions. This was actually asked a few times, and it's been asked in the past a few times as well. I just haven't really had like the time to dive into it, or like it hasn't really fit within the video that I'm doing, so I'm gonna answer it today. Would love to hear more about your story of how you grew up and came to Christ. So let me get started on the laundry for this one. I grew up in a Christian home, a Christian church, Christian family. Like, I grew up with those core beliefs and values and Christian principles as a child. So that is kind of all I knew growing up. I was very plugged in at our church. I was a part of every mission trip, every special event. I was on the worship team. I volunteered. I went to every small group. Like, I'm telling you, if there was something based around church, I was there. So that was really my world, what my world revolved around. That was really the culture that I grew up in. And so come college, after I graduated high school, you know, this was the first time in my life that I wasn't surrounded by church, where I wasn't surrounded by these people that I had lived life with all through middle school, high school, you know, all of those years. So my freshman year of college was really the first time that I was on my own, you know, and of course the thoughts start to enter, you know, what did I miss out on? While everyone else in high school was dating and going to parties and, you know, it's like I didn't do any of that. And so I started to wonder, did I miss out on what everyone else was having so much fun doing while I was at church? So that curiosity, that seed of curiosity definitely was planted my freshman year, and kind of as my time went on in college, I definitely started to drift away from the Lord, and just making poor choices. And who I was by the time I hit my junior year of college, it just did not reflect Christ whatsoever. By the end of my junior year, I had really hit rock bottom of feeling so unfulfilled. Just this lifestyle that I thought I wanted, but really it left me feeling so broken and so empty. And I knew that there was more, because I had experienced the transformational power of Jesus Christ in high school. Like, I knew what that was. I knew Jesus. Coming out of my junior year, I made a decision that I was done living that way. I did not want to move forward into my senior year still feeling broken and empty. I wanted to experience the fullness of Christ. So to get myself out of the place that I was in emotionally, spiritually, I knew it had to be a very dramatic shift. I needed to draw a line and wake up one morning and decide, this is not how I'm going to live my life. This is not who I want to be. I decided that I wanted to go on a mission trip that summer. I wanted to get out. I wanted to get out of my college town, not be surrounded by a lot of the same people that I was living life with. And I just wanted out. So I signed up for a mission trip to Brazil, and I went with a team of people, but I flew down by myself my end of my junior year, kind of that summer between junior and senior year. And I flew down to Brazil by myself, and I met up with a team of people, and we went down the Amazon River for 2 weeks on a boat. And we shared the gospel with villages up the Amazon River. And I brought a backpack. Obviously, there's no cell phone service, like no social media, no nothing. I was fully disconnected. So that was the trip that really changed my life, because I shifted the focus from myself to I get to share the gospel with people. And there was no greater joy than watching someone's face light up when I would tell them for the very first time. Some of these people had never heard the name of Jesus before, where I got to tell them, there's freedom. Like, you can find freedom, and Jesus died for your sins. He took your place and paid the price that you should have paid, and you don't have to now because Jesus paid that for you. And watching the look on their face when I would tell them this, there's no greater fulfillment. It totally shifted the focus from me and my life and myself to, this is what God's called me to. Like, this is why I'm here on earth. It was just this greater purpose moment, these 2 weeks, really. I came home from that trip a different person. Going into my senior year, I cut ties with a lot of people that were never truly friends, but it allowed me to really become the person that God was calling me to be. And that was actually the year that I met Andy, which was really funny because, I went into that year saying, I'm not going to be dating. I'm just solely going to focus on my relationship with the Lord. And then, a couple months later, 3 months later, here comes Andy, and the Lord is like, here you go, here's your husband. But that summer between junior and senior year was really the turning point for me spiritually, where I got to decide why I believed what I believed. Jesus rescued me from this very dark place that I was in emotionally and literally pulled me out of this place of feeling so lost and so empty, so unfulfilled. And it was instantly when I said, yes, Jesus, I need you, was when I felt fulfilled. I didn't feel empty anymore. I didn't feel lost anymore. I felt like I had purpose and freedom. And just talking about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I could burst into tears because of what Jesus did for me. It's so humbling when I think about the place of desperation I was in and that Jesus was there the whole time in reality, waiting for me, calling me. And all I had to do, this always happens when I talk about this because it truly is that life-changing. And I can't imagine doing life without Jesus. It would be so empty. There would be no purpose. There would be no joy. And I get to live my life for Jesus, like my whole life. I've given my whole life to Jesus. That's all I can give, and it's all Jesus wants from me, which is the most incredible part, that I don't have to do anything to earn God's love. I don't have to perform. I don't have to do anything. Like, that was the mentality that I grew up with in middle school, high school, that it was this performance for God, that I needed to do all the right things and say all the right things. And if I lived my life a certain way, then God would love me. But in reality, I don't have to do anything. I don't have to perform. I don't have to seek his approval. There's nothing else I can do except give my whole life and my heart to God. And that's all he wants, is just me. Just me, just my yes. And I think that's the most incredible part that makes me so emotional, is turning from that life of performance mentality. So that is the very summed up version, of course, of how I grew up and how just this transformation that happened from the time of high school through the end of my college years, and then of course getting married, having a baby. Like, there's been so many other seasons to my walk with the Lord, and I can definitely share about that in another video if anyone's interested. But that was the most transformational time in my life, was that year between junior and senior year of college, that trip to Brazil. Gosh, I will never forget that trip, and just experiencing the tangible presence of God like I never had experienced all growing up with this performance, strive kind of mentality. I never experienced what I did in that 2-week time span on the Amazon River in Brazil. So, okay. I'm going to finish up folding these clothes, and then we'll see if I can move on. I don't know where to go from there, but there was another really good question that I'll answer here in just a minute. Moving on, the other question I wanted to answer was about our Christmas decorations. So someone asked, how much do we decorate and what are the Christmas decorations that we put out? So I want to share about a really special nativity set that I don't know if I've shown in another video. I know that I show glimpses of our Christmas tree. Well, it's our Christmas tree. We've got our stockings and a little bit of garland up there. Like, we keep it, pretty simple, but the nativity set is very, very special. Let me show you what it looks like. I love it so much. This is the Fontanini nativity set. It was really popular back in the 80s and 90s, and everything lights up. I don't know a better way to do the cords down there, so it is what it is. But this one and this one is from my grandmother. So she passed last Christmas, and this was the thing that I wanted from her. So I got to keep her very special Fontanini nativity pieces. Of course, this is just a fraction, not even a fraction, less than a fraction of what is out there for the Fontanini nativity set. And then I had these two pieces. This is the Bethlehem Inn, and then just like one of the little carpet tents. But I was like, I have to have the actual nativity with Mary and Joseph, baby Jesus, the whole thing. So Ellie plays with this all the time. These are like, I guess it's plastic. I don't really know exactly what this is, but I used to play with these growing up because all the little people, like the whole thing, they all have a story and a name. And we used to play with these all the time growing up. So it's very sentimental for me. But I found this online. It was a little pricey. I was willing to pay that for this. So it's just so beautiful. These people, I love it. My mom has dozens and dozens of these different buildings. She got the majority of my grandmother's collection. I just got a couple of pieces, but it is just so special. So beautiful. So I hope that I can continue to grow my collection of these pieces. But for right now, this is my little nativity scene right here. And I love that it's just Ellie's height for her to play with, but this is just so special. I'll have it linked below. I mean, again, it's pricey, but it's so beautiful. And I just think these buildings and these people and just the whole thing, it's so special. And then this is a closer look at our Christmas tree, our little fireplace. We use this almost every night, so pardon how dirty it is right here. But I'm telling you, we do a wood burning fireplace almost every night. We love it. I just think it's so cozy. But yeah, very simple, very minimal. I went with the kind of gold theme this year. I'll definitely be hanging on to all of this decor to do for next year's tree. I love how this tree turned out. I'm obsessed. It's so beautiful. I've never had like a themed tree before where I followed a tutorial on YouTube, and I did that this year, and I'm just so happy with how it turned out. And yeah, I think it kind of goes great with the, again, minimal fireplace and the stockings. These are from last year. These are I think these are the Studio McGee brand from Target. So I really like those. But yeah, we've got our little fire starters and some paper and wood and all the things to get our fire going. But anyway, sleepy pup. Hi, Paisley. Hi, Paisley. Okay, I'm gonna answer a few more of these questions, and then I need to run and grab Ellie from school. So let's see how many of these I can get through in the next little bit. This first one, annual passes, pros and cons of living out of state. The con, of course, is the cost. It's so expensive, and you really just have to view it like you are purchasing your tickets up front in advance rather than spacing them out for, you know, each trip. But the pro, of course, is you get the discounts and any little exclusive thing that comes with being a pass holder. Obviously, that's no reason to become a pass holder. The little exclusive stuff they do and the discounts, I don't think make it worth it that much, but it is nice. The other pro is the mindset shift when you are a pass holder. So for instance, when we go to Disney, I love the feeling that I can pop in for fireworks and then head back to my resort, and that's it. That was my only park time for the day, but I didn't feel like I wasted a full day ticket because I'm a pass holder. And if it's our departure day and our flight leaves at 2 o'clock, I can pop in for breakfast at Epcot and then be back for our transportation to pick us up at 11. And again, I don't feel like I wasted a full day ticket. So that's the pro of being a pass holder, is the just, I can pop in, pop out kind of mindset, and just the flexibility and freedom that you get with having an annual pass, but it's a lot of money. So you really have to know that it's gonna be worth it and kind of price out your trips for the year and see how much would we spend on tickets if we didn't have a pass, and how does that compare to the price of an annual pass. So that's kind of the pros and cons in my opinion. What is on your Christmas wish list? When is your next Disney trip? Okay, I know we talked about the Disney trip earlier in the video, but my Christmas wish list, it's so tricky as a mom. It's just, I don't know. I don't really think that way. I'm not thinking like, ooh, what do I want? Like making a list, but because parents, of course, want to know what to get you. So the couple of things that I passed on to my parents, I told my mom I would love a new curling iron. I'm trying to think practically, but also a curling iron that would be a little more of a splurge for me, that I wouldn't necessarily like buy on my own. So that is one gift. I would love new AirPods. The other item that I'm asking for is the base weekender bag. This was one that I was very torn on, if you remember a little while back. I was going back and forth on which weekender bag do I go with. There were a couple other brands I was looking at, the base weekender bag and the Amazon like Vera Bradley dupe. I ended up going with the Amazon like budget friendly version, and I really do love it. It's worked out great. I've used it a couple of times now, but I'm still curious about the base weekender bag. It has such great reviews. People love it. There are a handful of people that don't love it, but I'm still really curious about it. So that is another gift idea that I think I would use a lot. I would love to try it out, but you know, I would rather it be a gift and something like really fun that I get for Christmas. I sent Andy a couple of links for like makeup items that I had been eyeing for a little while, a couple of smaller things. The other item that I actually sent the link to this to my husband to get me for Christmas is a bracelet from Miranda Fry. This jewelry company is amazing. I love them. It's where I got this little dainty necklace from. My little like very tiny hoops are from there. I wear these all the time. I rarely even take them off. They just have the prettiest dainty jewelry. So I'm very excited. A bracelet is definitely something that I would love to wear every day. I just don't have one that I really love. And I would love to have one that's like really good quality, you know? So that is the other item. That's kind of it though. You know, I don't have this like crazy long list of, you know, a Christmas wish list or anything like that, but that is what I've passed on to family and my husband to get me for Christmas. How many Disney trips do you have planned for 2024? Right now, I have 3 Disney trips booked. I really take it like 3 to 4 months at a time, and then I go from there and make more plans. So as soon as, you know, maybe we go on 1 or 2 more trips, then I'll book another one and kind of like work our way throughout next year. But I think having a little bit of a break from that go with the Disney content on my last November trip, and then obviously I'm doing like fun home Christmas content here during the month of December. It's really getting me excited to get back into Disney content come January. So I think that's why I'm so excited and I have these trips booked. I love it, and that is what I kind of founded my channel on, is tips for going to Disney World, and it's evolved into taking little kids to Disney. So, you know, I love it and I'm so excited for it. How to swing frequent Disney trips. I'm ready to go back. So before I was able to go full-time on YouTube, we were a once a year kind of family. And then we were able to start going twice a year, but that was it for a very long time. Like we had our 3 to 4 day trip, and then we would do like a 5-day trip. And that was it for the year. And I remember that feeling of like, how can I get back? You know, the in-between time is killing me. So what worked best for us was we were able to budget and sprinkle in like a weekend trip in between our 2 trips that we would book during the like early part of the year, and then like around Christmas time, we would do like a summer weekend or a September weekend or something when prices were really low during like Labor Day. And this worked great because I still had all the excitement of booking and planning a trip, picking the resort, picking what dining reservations we wanted, and like the whole experience of going to Disney. But we would only stay 2 nights. I would buy a 1-day ticket, and then we would do like a pool day. So it was very budget friendly, and that's how we were able to kind of sprinkle in a little weekend extra Disney trip on top of our normal 1 to 2 times a year kind of trip. So that would be my recommendation, is just plan a really short weekend trip. We would get off work on a Friday night and we would do a really late Friday night flight after work. And then we would have all day Saturday, and then we would do a really late flight back home on Sunday night. So we would technically have 2 days, and then we never even had to take off work. So that was kind of our little secret hack for getting to Disney more often. So that way we didn't have to actually use vacation days, and we were doing it on a budget and not spending as much money because we weren't there as long. Christmas Eve and Christmas Day plans or traditions. So we are actually staying home this year, which we stayed home last year. We really have been enjoying just being home. For so many years, we have always traveled to go see family out of state. And that was what I grew up doing. We were always traveling and visiting family out of state. And very rarely were we ever home for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. The couple of times that we were growing up, those were always my favorite Christmases. So now as an adult, and we have our own family now, that's what we want Ellie to experience. Like, we want her to have Christmas at home. This will be our second year in a row staying home for Christmas and making those boundaries and making that decision for our family that we are gonna be home. So we're still gonna visit family and do things later on, but for Christmas Eve, Christmas morning, we are doing it as a family of 3. So my plan for Christmas Eve, I'm so excited. We are gonna do the Polar Express. I'm gonna do like a little Polar Express party for just us and Ellie, and do all kinds of fun little like cookies and treats and hot cocoa and the whole thing. And we'll put blankets and pillows down on the living room floor. We'll do a fire and watch the movie and do the whole thing. I like the idea of having her open one gift on Christmas Eve, so we'll probably do that. Of course, let her stay up late and the whole thing. And then same thing Christmas morning, we'll do a really fun breakfast, open gifts, and again, probably have another fire going, watch a Christmas movie, and then later on in the afternoon, we'll get to see family. So that's kind of our plan for this year, and I feel like it's a really great balance of being able to kind of do everything and have the best of both worlds, and we get that, really sweet family Christmas at home that I'm so excited for. Quick intermission, I'm editing this video right now, and I completely forgot to mention the 2 most important Christmas traditions that we have. So outside of the Polar Express and the cookies and the gifts, we wanna make sure that we are emphasizing the right things on Christmas. We want Ellie to grow up having the right understanding of why we celebrate Christmas. So either on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, we'll read through the birth of Christ in the book of Luke. And then on Christmas Eve, we go to our church's Christmas Eve candlelight service. Those are just 2 of the ways that we're able to shift the focus from the cookies and the gifts to, again, why we celebrate Christmas. So as parents, Andy and I wanna make sure that we're emphasizing the right things. So we don't do Elf on the Shelf. We don't really emphasize Santa. She knows of Santa, like she watches the Christmas movies, like, we'll do the Polar Express, like I mentioned, but, outside of that, we just don't make a big deal of Santa. And again, we wanna make sure that we're prioritizing why we celebrate Christmas. But I'm gonna end it there. Thank you guys so much for watching and hanging out with me today. I know this was very much a hodgepodge of questions, but it's always fun to chat a little bit of Disney, a little bit of life and Christmas and, just do it all. So I'm gonna go grab Ellie from school now. But thank you again. Make sure that you are subscribed. If you have made it this far, I would love for you to stick around. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.